Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Shane Plays Spirit Island. For episode 20, I decided to go back and try something that I have done before, but off camera. Real quick before we start, though, wanted to give a shout out to Grant Price. You've definitely been the most frequent commenter on my videos, and I super appreciate you watching consistently. And if you're still watching here in episode 20, um, thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying them. And for anyone out there who isn't Grant Price, if you want to start commenting on my videos consistently, you could get a shout out in like 15 episodes when the backlog catches up. So start now. Anyway, what we're doing today is a while ago I found a Reddit post. Well, I guess a friend of mine found a Reddit post asking about scoring 100 or more. Um, and I thought, looking at their methods and everyone else's methods in the threads, it definitely looked like something I could pull off. And sure enough, I managed to score a 106, which was pretty cool. The way that we do that, so obviously your score gets a multiplier based on difficulty. So we have maximized difficulty in a way that suits the spirit that we're playing. So we're doing Prussia all the way up to level 6, which you'll be familiar if you've watched the series with a lot of the stuff that normally goes on with Prussia. They've got the stage 2 escalation where they add an extra town. They get an extra town during setup, and then after that, it's pretty much all just reducing the invader deck. So whether we have a good game or a bad game, it'll definitely be a short game because there's only 8 cards in that deck. The first one's a stage 3. We get some stage 2s, and then right back to stage 3. There's no stage 1. Um, the other ways that we're increasing difficulty. So scenarios I haven't done very often, but this one in particular is one of the highest difficulties. It's a difficulty 4. I don't remember if there's anything bigger in any of the expansions, but it's definitely the biggest one in the core game. Um, the rules changes. There's a decent amount going on here, but basically, anytime a Dahan moves, they do a point of damage there, um, which is an upside. That's obviously a huge boon, especially with my normal playstyle. Um, then after an action destroys cities and towns, the invaders get an explorer or a town, and they get added to the land with the most Han. So this is obviously the big downside of this scenario is as you kill them, more of them are popping up. Um, let's see. So if you ever get to Terra level victory, this will make more sense after we get here. So the normal fear-based victory is not available. Instead, at Terra level 2, you have to have at least as many Dahan as cities and towns. At Terra level 3, um, less than 1 land per player where that happens. So since I'm only 1 player, 1 land per player, and then less than that is 0. So basically, these two are the same thing. We basically just need to have lands where Dahan outnumber cities and towns, and we have to get to at least Terra level 2. And that's really how we win in this scenario. Specifically, if you actually get to Terra level victory, where like you've gotten past Terra level 3, Dahan immediately damage invaders in every land on the board as if they were fighting back after a ravage, and if that doesn't fulfill the victory condition, you lose. So you really have to win this way. You also lose if there are fewer than 2 Dahan per player left alive, but at that point we'd be basically doomed anyway. So as you can see, like there's some upside, some downside here, but I think for Thunder Speaker especially, who of course is called out here, This scenario is actually easier in a lot of ways. So adding that difficulty 4 score multiplier is huge with Thunderspeaker. Other things we've done, we're using the thematic map, which if you are using the expansion only adds 1 difficulty, but if you are not using the expansion adds a couple of extra. So that's how we've gotten to difficulty 17, which is essentially going to add an extra 85 points, assuming we win. So we start out at 85 points for that victory, for difficulty 17, 10 more for winning. So we're already at 95 points. And then as long as we have some invader cards in the deck, some Dahan Alive, and not too much Blight, we can definitely score above 100. And with luck, we can get to at least that 106 number that I got before, or maybe even surpass it. It would be neat to set a new record here. I am going to sort of seed the game a little bit. So last time I won this way, part of it... Oh, and another real quick aside here to my strategy with tackling this challenge. Here we go. So of all of the 4 boards here, the East has a ton of Dahan on it. And it also specifically has a lot of wetlands and more than average mountains with only 1 sand and only 1 jungle. So that's pretty nice. They do start with a pretty big base over here and a town here. And then I think because it's Prussia, they'll also get a town in... they'll get an extra town in 3 here. Which maybe is what... No, I think that's going to be 2 towns in a city here. Making this a very juicy target for some early game manifests. So the other thing, which last time I did this, I got lucky. The very first card I drew from the Invader deck, this first 3 here, was a Sand and Jungle. Meaning that even though it was a level 3 card, meaning it's 2 land types, they're still actually only exploring 2 lands. I think that it is definitely a huge upside to get that to begin with. And since that's luck-based, and I want to give myself the best chance to surpass this again, I'm basically going to restart until I get that again. It feels a little like cheating, but on the other hand, like, if I kept playing enough games, eventually I would get that situation again. But I don't want to put you through me playing over and over and over again until I get that scenario. So what I'm going to do is pause the video and restart this scenario until I get that starting card, and then we'll go from there. Alright, you guys maybe aren't going to believe me, but the very first time I start this up, it came up with a jungle and sand. So I didn't actually need to do all that restarting and everything. It just happened that way. So I did put my starting presents. Thunderspeaker starts with two presents on the starting board, 1 in each of the 2 lands with the most Dahan. On this board, obviously you get 1 here because that has 3 Dahan, but then there are 3 other lands that are tied for having the most Dahan. So you get to pick. I like picking this one just because, again, we're going to really want to hurt this land as much as possible, as early as possible, before they really gain a foothold there. So, I think we are definitely doing our usual add a presence, toss that on there with a manifest and a sudden ambush. Alright. So we finished playing cards. I don't remember, by the way, how I started this last time. It's certainly the most obvious thing to do with the sudden ambush is take out this guy so he doesn't build. There's an argument to be made for taking out this guy, just so that they can't get to these lands at all. But I think I'm going to save him and try and get him later before he becomes a problem. Sorry about that. Oh, by the way, I got a new mouse. Some viewers may recall that I was having mouse problems in a previous video. Those are resolved. So now when I hold down the mouse button, it will actually click places. Hoo boy, they are coming in hot. The escalation here is a little bit tricky. They're about to ravage in the jungles and the sands. I could theoretically get up to that jungle and do my words of warning for a defend 3. Let's see. But if I do that, then I'm not manifesting here for nearly as much damage, because I would have to use my Gather the Warriors. Let's see, that's going to be a Gather 2, push 1. So it's really only going to get 1 Dahan here if I do it that way. And then I will do 4 damage here. I'll have a Dahan here. I will Words of Warning this, end up killing a town. And 2 towns down here. It's not bad. It does prevent a blight. My temptation instead is to bring 2 Dahan here, along with my presence, and that would end up doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 damage. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's overkill for even all of this. So maybe I don't need the extra presence. I could grab 2 Dahan down here, do 8 damage, and that would do it fine. So then my presence could stay here. At that point, if we just accept the jungle is going to get blighted, because we're going to take some blight as this goes on, then I could instead add the new town here, do my Words of Warning here, so I still get to kill that town. The thing I'm worried about is now we've got jungle twice in a row. So they're really gonna hit that hard over the next 2 turns. Which makes it more tempting to try to get up there. And if I'm doing that, then I probably want the town maybe down here, where I can't do too much harm. Yeah, this is a tricky one. I think my instinct is to focus on the places that they are currently focusing on. So let's go ahead and put it down here. And we'll plan... Oh wait, is Words of Warning going to be enough? I might undo that. Words of Warning blocks 3. They're actually going to have 5 there. I forgot they were going to add 1 more Explorer. But moving a Dahan there is going to do a damage. So that will be fine. Yes, this will be just fine. Okay. So we'll go ahead and gather the warriors here. So we determined we don't need this presence. Oh, well, we're not bringing anything down there anyway. So yes, we'll gather probably the whole 2, bring the presence with them, and then push 1 into there, and bring the presence with it. The scenario, we'll deal damage here, it'll kill this guy, and that's all great. So yes, Words of Warning will block all but one of the damage, which is the right number. Okay, then we manifest down here, take care of both towns, which is going to make explorers out of them. And those explorers will stay put because this is the nearest place with Dahan in it. Alright. Hopefully they don't find the wetlands anytime soon, because this place is still a big problem. Alright, so this turn, we definitely want to add 2 presents. I had also forgotten how much power the Dahan movement has. I think we're going to be using Voice of Thunder for the movement more often than any usual game. But just moving a Dahan into this space or this space will take out those explorers, which is really great. So we definitely want these 2 tokens. I think... So this 1 Dahan here isn't going to do enough damage to obliterate this place. It will take out the town. And if we do the Ravage here first, then I think the Explorer that comes out of that town will come here and then die from these guys, so that's cool. Where do we want presents? Well, we still definitely want to pilot here. The question is, do we also want some here or here so that we have influence to come down in this area? And I think the answer is yes. I think right here makes a lot of sense because that has reach to... That's 1 away from everywhere that they currently have stuff we want to deal with over here. And then this other one can come here. Whoops. Nope, that's the wrong one. Undo that. This one. This one goes right there. Because energy to spare is nice. Okay. Finish playing cards. So, words of warning, obviously here. 2 damage here. Oh, he stayed there. I must have misread or misremembered this scenario. To the land with Dahan closest to the destroyed, not to the land with the most Dahan that's like adjacent or whatever. So they'll stay put. Alright. Definitely gonna have to move more Dahan in here to defend it again next turn. Okay, so the sands are no longer a problem. The mountains very much are. So I think we add this town in the... Oh, but there's no town down here anymore. So we can keep piling damage here whenever possible. But yeah, now we're going to have to deal with that sand as well. Or the mountain as well. And geez, they're in a lot of mountains. Okay. So, this is a little bit crucial. So Gather the Warriors is now a Gather 3, Push 2. It's worth noting that unfortunately the scenario only counts where they finally end up. So yeah, damage happens after fully resolving the power or other effect which moved them. If a power moves a Dahan multiple times, it only does damage in the land where it ends up. So it's not like a Gather 3 and then do 3 damage and then push 2 and do 2 damage, which would be amazing. It's just going to be a Gather 3, push 2, and wherever they ended up after that whole sequence, that's where they're going to do their damage. So, I definitely need to do more damage here, because the most I'm going to be able to defend is 3, which leaves 2 damage left and kills a Dahan. So I need to send at least 1 more Dahan over here. I also love sending 1 more Dahan over here because that will completely clear it until, of course, an Explorer spawns over here. So 1 goes over here for sure. I think it's then also pretty easy to get 1 over here, just because it's adjacent to a place we're already trying to send some, and that kills off this guy. The last one, let's see. So a place that's adjacent to both of them is here. So this could be the place where we're gathering and pushing out of. We could also theoretically gather either here or here and then push at least one to the other one. Let's see. I don't want to focus too many Dahan up here since we're about to clear both of them. So I think I might... Ooh, I could get one more over here, and then Voice of Thunder could push two down here and kill these guys off. So then we're preventing two builds. Okay, this is starting to come together. So what I want to do is gather the warriors here. I want to... Oh, and we can use a trick. I learned a trick. If I pull you out of here and then push you back into here, it doesn't really help with this situation, but that ends up doing damage even though you ended up in the same place that you were pulled from. But we do want to end up with two over here. So we'll grab you. And I think that's it. Maybe we don't even... Yeah, we do. Yeah, okay. So we finish... hold on. How was I thinking we do this? Okay, undo that. If we gather here... we pull you, you, and you. Then we push you over here. We push you over here. Yep, that's how we get it done. Alright, so doing a damage here. Doing a damage here. Then we Voice of Thunder here, pushing you here, and killing both of those guys. Okay, great. That is solid. Yeah, I think my general thinking at this point is that I'm going to keep doing my sort of tread water, do as much damage down here as I can, but otherwise just try to prevent bad things happening for a couple of turns. Until we get to Terra level 2, which is... we've earned one fear card already, so 3 more fear cards when we get to Terra level 2. After that, we're probably only like a turn or two away from winning because we can arrange things so that there are more Dahan. Like, we could arrange it right now. Just by pushing one Dahan here and one Dahan here, we would be winning at this point if we were at Terra level 2. So it's pretty easy to set up once we've got it all like put together. All right. So obviously we're taking words of... first we need powers. Certainly we're valuing defense here. As always, I'm very drawn to air, although I don't know if I'm going to get to the point where I can be doing my powers fast. So let's look at everything else. Call to Tend is nice. Removing Blight helps our score, similar with Voracious Growth. These two are both slow, which is definitely a downside. Call to Tend actually ends up doing more damage, theoretically, because it could do up to 3 damage by pushing 3, and also getting people where I need them. But Veil of the Night's Hunt is just amazing in this scenario and also has the symbols we like and is also fast. So I think there isn't really that much of a competition here. Um, Even though I would love to remove some blight and maximize my score that way, I'm probably just not going to find the card plays to use them that way anyway. Um, as I've talked about a lot, like it often feels like if you can either use a card for winning faster or use a card to improve your score by getting rid of blight, you probably just want to win faster. And so unless you're playing a spirit that has a lot of extra card plays, I just don't find myself removing blight very often. Um, okay. Uh, Encompassing Ward is extremely tempting. That can provide a moderate defend in a lot of places, which is often very useful. Um, and especially considering we're going to be dealing with a mountain that's going to have. They're about to build a city here, so that could theoretically end up with. Well, they don't have to build a city though. If we push some Dahan in there ahead of time, we can prevent that city from being built. So if they just build a town, the town being destroyed will make an explorer, so they'll be at 4. So I can block there again using Words of Warning. Of course, that gets me in my reclaim loop that's gotten me in trouble before. All right, so back up to this situation. Let's see. Enticing Splendor is always cool. I think probably wins because again, gathering Dahan is extremely valuable in this scenario. Doing it fast for 0 is amazing, and it provides both of the symbols that Gather the Warriors requires. I mean, except for Animal. But it improves Gather the Warriors as long as I'm triggering it to begin with a great deal. So I think Enticing Splendor probably wins in this scenario. In addition to obviously being able to prevent builds sometimes with this ability. So yeah, as much as Encompassing Ward is good in a lot of situations, I think Enticing Splendor is better in this scenario. So let's go with it. Okay, so we know for sure we want to defend here. I don't think we could realistically get 3 more guys. No, because there's not even 3 guys adjacent to it. My other thought was we don't have to defend if we kill enough things that doesn't matter. And since we now have some Dahan movement in the fast phase, it is possible. But we wouldn't be able to kill enough to make that work. So, Words of Warning will be just the right amount here. And also triggers Gather the Warriors, which is nice. I do think we want to gather or push Dahan into this land just to get rid of that town before the build phase. I think Enticing Splendor probably is the way to do it. Veil of the Night's Hunt is nice because it does have the animal symbol to trigger Gather the Warriors on a future turn, and Enticing Splendor does not. So since we're playing our Words of Warning now, we already have an animal symbol. We may as well use the one that doesn't have it. The fact that it's free also saves us some energy for a future turn, which is very nice. And either one of these, like, because it's a push, if it was Gather 3, I could kill everything. There would still be an Explorer, so he would still build because of the scenario adding an Explorer. But getting 3 in there would be better than getting 2 in there. But the most I can get in there is 2 anyway. Oh, hold on. This doesn't work. Enticing Splendor is range 0, which I forgot. So that doesn't actually function, and I am going to have to use Veil of the Night's Hunt. Reading cards is essential. Okay, but this one will at least work because I can push them from here into here. And range 2, I easily have that. Okay. This is our play. So yes, we go ahead and push you and you into here. Destroy this town, which generates a fear and brings this guy up. That's the other nice thing, like, even though they're getting guys back, it still causes just as much fear when we kill that stuff. So I find this scenario tends to just churn out fear. Which is very nice. Speaking of which, we're removing an explorer from a coastal land. Well, we know jungle has already come up in stage 2. Wetland has not. And this place we're going to kill both of these in the Ravage anyway. So yeah, let's remove this guy. Beautiful. And then they get an explorer back because we killed a town. They build a town there. And sure enough, we have reached the wetlands. Okay. Definitely going to put my town here this time. We already have some presence there, we already have some Dahan there, and it's already come up in stage 2. So that jungle is less dangerous than it might otherwise be. Okay, so here is a crucial Gather the Warriors. I do love that even though they got an explorer in the wetlands, they didn't manage to get to either of these wetlands. We've been doing a good job of controlling the inland lands over here. So for this Gather the Warriors, I know I need to make this place so it can be defended. We've got to gather 3, push 1. So if I gather all 3 into here, that kills a town and explorer, and then leaves 1 explorer plus 1 more from the town. So that's still too dangerous to not defend. But we could gather up to 2 more at the start of next turn. So my thinking is, if we end up placing 2 Dahan in here, that will eliminate the town, leave us with 3 explorers. Then an Enticing Splendor can gather 2 more and bring it down to just 1 explorer who will die during the Ravage. So if I can gather the warriors in such a way that leaves me at range 0 here, which will allow me to Enticing Splendor, and leaves 2 new Dahan, or two Dahan end up here that weren't here, that moved at least once with the Gather the Warriors. Unfortunately, with only push 1, that means this has to be the place I gather into, and then I just push 1 of them back out. So let's go. Oh, I do remember a neat, tricky thing with Gather the Warriors in this situation is the ones you're pushing don't always have to be the ones you were pulling. So if I pull in all 3, the one I push back out can be one of these, so then I still get 3 damage, which is nice. Let's see. Or I could just pull in the 2 that I need and then push back out one of the ones that doesn't matter. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to gather the warriors. We're going to pull in you and you. Finish gathering. All right, we keep an eye on, so those 2 are the ones I got it in, so one of these is the ones we're going to push out. We will take, Let's see. I think I still want at least one presence in each place, even though I'm hoping to do a big manifest here in next turn's slow phase. So let's take one from there. So then we take one of the ones that didn't move yet and push you back over this way. And leave my presence here so that we can do a Splendor here later. Okay, so now I've got 2 damage here because I gathered 2 in here. And then I also got a damage over there. Okay. So this is pretty cool. So I've got enough energy now that I could play Manifest and Enticing Splendor without gaining extra energy. So I think I could do this Presence ad. And if I get up to 3 card plays, I could also do Voice of Thunder, which is very strong. So probably, if I'm doing the math here, this place is going to build. That's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to wipe this place out. Which won't wipe it out completely because they'll make more buildings here. But still, that's... Oh, plus 1 more. 9. It's not very hard to have 2 Dahan and 1 extra presence here. So I think 1 extra presence to make the 9 pretty easily. I think 1 more presence there is silly because it doesn't get us to the 9 without adding still 3 Dahan. So probably this one should be here. Yeah, that's where I'm going to be focusing after that. Okay, so then we do Manifest, Voice of Thunder, Enticing Splendor. Enticing Splendor should allow us to wipe this place out. Oh, there's a problem here. We don't have any cards giving us Gather the Warriors. We are getting a Lead the Furious Assault, which is nice. And we do have some late turn movement with Voice of Thunder. That's still going to let us move 4 guys over. Or, like, yeah, basically a bunch of people from here can still go in here. And come to think of it, they're going to be able to do some damage over here before I even manifest. So that's useful. Let's see. So yeah, I guess I don't need to Gather the Warriors. It would be nice, but I think doing all of this is better. And we'll save Lead the Furious Assault for the slow phase, even though I have enough air to make it go fast if I wanted to. Okay, I think we have a good plan here. It might not be entirely optimal, but it's pretty good. So, in here, we're going to gather up to 2. It's going to be you and you. We're not going to move any presents. That's going to kill some explorers. It's going to be great. Finish using powers. Lead the Furious Assault will come later. Oh, and we're gonna do some very good things over here. I don't think I even needed as much presence as I have. This place is a bit of a problem, and this place I have a little bit of a plan for. Okay, they're exploring the mountains and the jungles. I have a foothold up in that jungle still, so that's nice. The mountains are not exactly where I want them, but could be a lot worse. So, what I think we do is we Voice of Thunder, push up to 4. You here, you here, you here, you here. I don't need to bring that presence, and I like having it there, so don't move it. We have 4 damage to assign. We're going to put that on 1, 2, 3, and you. Okay. So then Lead the Furious Assault, which I often think of as just destroy a town, it actually destroys one town for every 2 Dahan in the land. So that should destroy, yep, 2 towns, which is lovely. Leaves us with some explorers. And now we can do, I don't know, 12 damage down here, wiping everything out. The one town will leave one explorer, which is not enough to blight or kill a Dahan. So this place is beautiful. We also have 2 earned fear cards, and we are 3 fear away from Terror level 2. That's a good place to be. We could win this kind of soon. Feels like we could get up to, let's see. So we're obviously going to reclaim. If we get 3 more fear, it's hard to get 3 more fear in the fast phase, but not impossible. Definitely, I got up to the point where I have 3 card plays and the air on the top, so I can definitely make my innates go fast, which helps a lot with getting those 3 fear in the fast phase and also arranging everything where I want it. And if I get 3 fear, then all I need to do is like gather 3, push 1, and I suddenly win. So, and gather 3, push 1 is a reasonably easy thing to do with this setup. My limiting factor, I think, is going to be I'm only going to have 2 energy this turn. So let's keep in mind we want 0 cost with air on them. This card, I hate the Blight, and it also doesn't move Dahan around. This one moves Dahan around. It's free. It has all of the symbols I need for Gather the Warriors. I think this is an auto pick. Defend. I'm possibly going to win during this fast phase, so defend isn't even going to be relevant. Let's assume we're going to win during the fast phase until we find out we can't. Next card. Again, we mostly want fast phase cards. Lure of the Unknown definitely jumps out at me for a number of reasons. Rain of Blood is neat because it does provide fear, but I think we're going to try and get the fear by destroying things. So let's Lure of the Unknown. We may or may not actually play it, but let's figure this out. So, Veil of the Night's Hunt does a ton of work. Gathering 3 Dahan, or pushing 3 Dahan, could just push 3 up here, destroy this city outright. That generates 2 of the 3 fear we need on 1 card. That's great. Alright. It also then positions people up here where we need them. Dealing the last fear just involves moving 1 over here, so we really just need Gather the Warriors to trigger at all. So if we just did like Enticing Splendor and Call to Isolation, we've got a really good Gather the Warriors set up. I think this is probably a winning play during the fast phase. So let's try it. Okay. So operating under the theory that I was working with, we should be able to push up to 3. 1, 2. Oh, you have to click each time. 2, 3. I'll go along for the ride just because it's fun. We destroy this city. That's great. I guess the other nice thing would have been if I could play a card with fire on it, like maybe Lure of the Unknown. Then I could have also done my Lead the Furious Assault, but I don't think it matters. So, let's see. Call to Isolation, Enticing Splendor. Okay. I think we Enticing Splendor here, gathering you and you. Sure. 2 damage. That eliminates that. That gets us to Terror level 2. And we win. Alright, let's see how that score turned out. We didn't add any Blight, so we've only got 1 Blight on the board, which I like. We still have all the Dahan we started with. I didn't lose any. So, our score, 109! We beat our last... yeah. We did what we intended to do. And... yeah, that feels great. I think there is not a lot of opportunity for improving that. So I'm super stoked I caught it on video. Definitely got some really good card draws for all of the draws there. And it's possible there's some like marginal room for improvement, but I think a 109 is possibly the best score I'll ever see. So we're just gonna accept that and say, hey, new high score. We've also now beaten level 6 Brandenburg Prussia on camera, so we'll probably work on the other level 6 adversaries. There is an achievement for beating all 3 core box adversaries at level 6. So I think that would be a fun goal for the next couple of videos. Anyway, week's off to a great start. Hope you'll tune in next time, and I'll see you then.